The monsoon clouds had gathered early that year, staining the sky in the shades of bruised grey and purple. From her bedroom window, Vine watched the first streak of rain slide down the glass like 100 tiny rivers rising each other. She loved evenings like this, humid air filled with the earthy smell of wet soil, the distant sound of thunder, the promise of tea and snacks waiting downstairs. Today should be one of the greatest days, but it wasn't. She was still humming to herself, brushing out her damp hair after a long day at university, when she heard her mother's voice call from the living room. It wasn't unusual. Her mother often called her down for tea or to ask about her classes, but there was something different this time, a certain weight in her tone. Vine comes downstairs, we have something to discuss. Her brows furrowed. Something to discuss in her house rarely meant anything good. Usually, it involved long lectures about studying harder, behaving like a good girl, or spending too much time on her phone. She sighed, slipping into her favorite oversized t shirt and shorts before chugging downstairs. Her father sat on the sofa, newspaper folded neatly beside him. He rarely looked up from the headlines, but today his gaze was fixed directly on her. Her mother was perched on the other side, teacup in her hand, looking like she was trying too hard to appear casual. The air was thick with something. Vine immediately grew wary. "What happened? Did I do something?" she asked, settling on the armrest of the chair, still holding her comb in her hand like a shield. Her parents exchanged glances. That was never a good sign. "No, nothing like that," her father said, voice calm but firm. He cleared his throat. "Actually, there is good news." Vine tilted her head, confused. "Good news?" Her mother smiled, the kind of smile that was far too rehearsed to be genuine. "Yes, very good news, actually. Your father and I have been talking with some family friends, and well, it's all decided." Her stomach dropped. Decided? What was decided? Her father straightened in his seat, folding his arms across his chest. "We have fixed your marriage." The words landed like a thunderclap inside her skull. For a moment she thought she had misheard. The rain outside pounded harder, almost as if the universe itself was mocking her. "You what?" she whispered. Her mother reached for her hand, patting it gently as though soothing her daughter into acceptance. "Your marriage, dear. Everything is arranged. The boy's family is very respectable and very educated. You will like him." Vine jerked her hand back. Her pulse hammered in her ears. "You fixed my marriage without even asking me?" Her father frowned as though her shock was unreasonable. "We don't need to ask, Vine. We are your parents. We know what's best for you." "Best for you? Best for me? You didn't even tell me until everything was decided." Her voice rose. "Don't raise your voice at your father," her mother snapped, suddenly defensive. "You should be grateful. Girls these days waste so much time running after silly love stories, ending up heartbroken. We have spared you from all that. The boy is educated, responsible, from a good family. You will live comfortably." Vine's laughter came out sharp, bitter. "Comfortably? What am I, some piece of furniture you can just sell off for comfort?" "Don't be dramatic," her father cut in, tone clip. "This isn't about selling. It's about securing a future. You are 22 now, old enough to get married. Do you think the world waits forever?" Her chest burned with fury. She stood up so fast the chair scraped the floor. "My world does. I'm still studying, Papa. I want to do my master's, maybe even PhD. I don't want to marry some stranger right now." "Dreams are fine," her father replied, "but stability is more important. We have already said yes to the family. You will meet him soon." "No," her voice shook, but her resolve was firm. "I'm not marrying anyone." Her mother's eyes narrowed. Wine enough. We have already committed. What will people say if you refuse now? Do you want us to be humiliated? That word, people, stabbed deeper than the thunder outside. Always people. Always what will others think, never her. She felt tears sting her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Instead, she forced a brittle smile. So, that's it then. My life, my future, my choice. It all belongs to other people. Her father's face hardened. This conversation is over. We have decided the engagement will happen. And just like that, he picked up his newspaper again, as if sailing her fate was as casual as checking the stock market. Vine stared at both of them, her heart splintering into pieces. The rain outside blurred the world into streaks of grey, but inside everything was burning. She couldn't breathe, couldn't think. With a choked sound, she turned and ran upstairs, slamming her bedroom door shut. The walls felt too tight, suffocating. She buried her face in her pillow, muffling the scream that clawed its way out of her throat. This couldn't be happening, not to her. She wasn't ready for marriage. She had plans, dreams that reached far beyond the city, beyond the narrow expectations of her relatives. And yet, in one evening, her parents had changed her into a future she didn't choose. Hot tears streaked her cheeks. Between sobs, one thought pulsed her like a drum beat in her mind. I will not let this happen, not without a fight. The next few days passed in a haze of silent war. Vine refused to speak more than a few clipped words to her parents. Meals at the dining table were awkward, filled with the clinking of spoons instead of conversation. Her best friend Nisha noticed immediately when Vine slumped into their usual campus cafe. Said, her face stormy, "You look like you murdered someone," Nisha said, sipping on her iced coffee. "I wish I had," Vine muttered, stabbing her straw into her drink violently. "Maybe then I wouldn't be stuck in this situation." Nisha's eyes widened. "Whoa, drama queen, what happened?" Vine took a shaky breath, words spilling out like poison. "My parents have fixed my marriage." The cafe suddenly felt too loud, too bright. Nisha froze, blinking. "Wait, fixed? As in without telling you?" "Exactly." Vine slammed her cup down. "I came home and boom. Good news, dear, we have decided your future for you. Like I'm some project they can just hand over." Nisha's jaw dropped. "That's insane. Did you at least ask who the guy is?" "They wouldn't tell me much, just that he's educated from a respectable family." Vine rolled her eyes. "Which could mean anything. For all I know, he's some boring, balding banker who will expect me to cook 3 meals a day while he lectures me on stock prices." Nisha bit her lip, trying not to laugh. "Okay, but what if he's hurt?" Vine shot her a glare so sharp it could slice glass. "I don't care if he's Henry Cavill's long-lost twin. I'm not marrying anyone right now." "Fair," Nisha admitted, raising her hands. "But babe, you know your parents, once they have decided something." Vine groaned, collapsing under the table dramatically. "Don't remind me." Nisha patted her arm sympathetically. "So what's your plan?" Vine lifted her head, her eyes blazing with stubborn fire. "My plan? To sabotage this whole thing before it even begins." Nisha grinned. "Now that I would love to see." That night, as Vine lay awake, staring at the ceiling, the rain still tapping against her window, she replayed her father's words in her head. "We know what's best for you." Maybe they thought they did. Maybe they truly believed this arranged marriage was a perfect solution for her future. But they don't know her heart. They didn't understand the ache she felt to build something on her own terms. Her fist clenched around the bedsheet. This wasn't over, not by a long shot. The silence in the Sharma household had a weight of its own. It wasn't peaceful silence, that kind that came with cozy evenings, or the gentle lull of rain outside. No. This silence was sharp, suffocating, the heavy with all the words that weren't being said. Every clink of the cutlery at dinner was louder than usual. Every cuff or rustle of a newspaper felt like an earthquake. Vine sat at the table, stabbing her rice with her spoon as though it were her sworn enemy. Her mother glanced at her once or twice, but didn't dare speak. Her father didn't even look up. It had been 3 days since the announcement. 3 days of slammed doors, cold shoulders, and a constant storm raging inside her chest. Finally, she dropped her spoon with a clatter, pushing her plate away. I'm done, she said flatly, though she had barely eaten. Her mother frowned. At least finish. I'm not hungry. Her father's jaw tightened. He didn't say anything, but the crease between his brows deepened. Vine stood, grabbed her bag, and left the table without another word. Upstairs, she threw herself on the bed, heart pounding. How long were they planning to keep this up, pretending everything was normal while her life was being handed away like some gift basket? Her phone buzzed. It was a message from Nisha. So, any updates from the camp, drama queen? Vine tired furiously. Still the same. Silence, dead stares. My dad acts like I'm a criminal. My mom keeps dropping hints about how all the girls dream of this day. You don't? Not when it's forced. Fine, fine. At least tell me, who is the mystery fiancé? Vine threw her phone aside with a groan. That was $1 million question, wasn't it? She knew almost nothing, only that he was educated, respectable, from a good family, which in Asian parent code could mean literally anything. What if and divorced? What if he has some controlling jerk? What if he was one of those guys who thought women belonged in the kitchen? Her stomach twisted. She hated not knowing more than anything. The next morning at breakfast, her mother made another attempt. Dear, you should at least meet him before judging. Vine glared. I don't need to meet him. I already know I don't want this. Her father folded his newspaper, speaking for the first time. Enough. We have explained our decision. Stop behaving like a child. A child? Vine's laughter was bitter. You're calling me a child, but you are the one deciding my life without asking me. Who is the child here? Her father's face darkened. What's your tone? Her mother placed her hand on his arm, trying to keep the peace. Let her cool down. She's only scared. I'm not scared, she snapped. I'm angry, and you should be scared because I'm not going to let this happen. And with that, she stormed out of the house, bag slung over her shoulder, leaving her parents staring in after her. Campus was her escape. The chatter of students, the clatter of heels on the tiled corridors, the smell of coffee drifting from the canteen. It was the only place she felt like herself. Nisha spotted her instantly, waving from her favorite bench under the banyan tree. There she is, the bride-to-be. Vine groaned, dropping beside her. Don't start. Nisha grinned mischievously. What? I'm just trying to imagine you in a red lehenga, all shy and blushing. Shut up. Fine, fine, Nisha said, giggling. But honestly, Vine, don't you at least want to see him before rejecting? What if he is, I don't know, tall, handsome, rich, funny? Or, Vine interrupted, what if he's bald, arrogant, controlling, and chews with his mouth open? Nisha burst out laughing, nearly choking on her coffee. You are impossible. I'm realistic, Vine muttered. Her best friend's laughter faded into a softer smile. Okay, jokes aside, what's your plan? You can't just suffer forever. Vine leaned back against the bench, eyes fixed on the tree branches swaying above. My plan? Simple. I will make sure he rejects me first, Nisha raised an eyebrow. Oh, I like where this is going. Classic reverse psychology sabotage. Exactly. A smirk tugged at Vine lips. If my parents won't listen to me, then I will make sure the guy himself says no. And how exactly do you plan to do that? Vine shrugged. I will think of something. Nobody wants a girl who is stubborn, rude, and completely uncooperative, right? I will be just the worst version of myself. Nisha clapped her hands. Brilliant, be your best self, scare him off, and boom, problem solved. They both laughed. Though beneath Vine's smile, unease lingered because what if the guy wasn't so easily scared? What if he would turn out to be someone who wouldn't give up? That evening, her mother knocked gently on her door. Dear, we are meeting his family next week and you will come, right? Vine froze mid scroll on her phone. Her throat felt dry. Next weekend? That soon? She forced her voice to sound casual. We will see. Her mother sighed. You will like him, Vine. He is exactly the kind of man we pray for. When the doors closed, Vine let out a shaky breath. Prayed for, perfect man, educated, respectable. She almost wanted to laugh. Whoever this guy is, she would make sure he regretted ever saying yes. What she didn't know that the fate was already weaving its threads that the next time she walked into her classroom, her life would collide with his in a way she never expected. That her new assistant professor, the one who would make her blood boil and her heart race, was the same person her parents fixed her marriage with. But for now, Vine lay in bed, scribbling ideas in her journal, sabotage satires, snarky comments, all the way she would push him away. She had no idea how dangerously close how all her plans were to unraveling. The Monday morning campus burst with its usual chaos. Rickety scooters honking at the gate, students balancing steaming cups of chai as they rushed across the courtyard, the faint echo of laughter and gossip bouncing off. Vine tugged at the strap of her bag and walked briskly to the main building, trying to shake off the heaviness of the weekend. She had spent 2 whole days dodging her mother's hopeful looks and her father's disapproving silence. The only bright spot was her determination. She would not make this marriage easy for anyone. Have you heard? Nisha's voice cut through her thoughts as she caught up, panting slightly. We are getting a new assistant professor this semester. Great, Vine muttered. Another strict, boring academic to torture us with assignments. Nisha grinned. Rumor is he is young and hot. Vine rolled her eyes. Rumor is always wrong. Still, she couldn't help but feel a flicker of curiosity as they entered the lecture hall. The room buzzed with anticipation, even the usually half-asleep backbenchers were whispering about the new faculty. Vine slipped into her seat near the window. She liked the spot. The light breeze kept her awake, and she could watch the trees sway outside whenever lectures dragged on. The door creaked open. A hush fell over the room. The man who stepped inside carried himself with quiet authority. Tall, broad shoulders, dressed in crisp formal wear, dark trousers and a pale blue shirt rolled neatly at the sleeves. His black hair was slightly tousled. His sharp jaw, his gaze steady behind rimless glasses. He wasn't much older than them, maybe late 20s, but there was something about the way he walked, calm and composed, that made the entire class sit straighter. Vine felt a strange jolt in her chest. No, not a jolt, more like annoyance wrapped in intrigue. Good morning, he said, his voice low and smooth, carrying easily across the room. I'm Professor John Chenko, your new assistant professor for this semester. I will be handling your modern literature course. Nisha leaned in and whispered dramatically, young, hot, confirmed. Wine elbowed her, muttering, "He looks arrogant." Jungkook's eyes scanned the room, pausing briefly when they landed on her. The smallest fraction of a second, she felt like he was looking through her, his gaze sharp enough to unsettle her. She quickly looked away, pretending to adjust her pen. "As I'm sure you're aware," Jungkook continued, "this course requires not only reading but critical thinking, which means I won't tolerate laziness, plagiarism, or half-hearted answers. If you're here to course though, you may leave now." A couple of students shifted uncomfortably. Vine raised a brow. "Wow," she muttered under her breath. Could he sound any more full of himself? But despite herself, she was listening. Jungkook began the lecture, speaking with a clarity and a confidence that made even dry academic theory sound engaging. He asked questions, challenged assumptions, and when someone gave a vague answer, he pushed them to dig deeper. When he called on Vine, she wasn't prepared. "Miss Sharma, right?" he asked, glancing at the roll sheet. Her heart skipped. "Yes." He gestured toward her notebook. "You have been quiet. What's your interpretation of this passage?" Vine blinked at the test in front of her. She hadn't been paying attention, too busy overanalyzing his tone, his posture, his irritatingly sharp jawline. Heat rushed to her cheeks. Well, a small smirk tugged at his lips. "Take your time, we will wait." Her spine stiffened. Was he mocking her? "I think," she said, forcing her voice steady, "that the passage reflects the protagonist in a conflict. He is torn between duty and desire, which honestly make him less of a hero and more of a coward." The class snickered. Jungkook's brows rose. "Interesting," he said slowly. "So you equate hesitation with cowardice?" "Not hesitation," Vine shot back, "but hiding behind excuses instead of making a choice. That's cowardice." The room grew silent. Students leaned forward, waiting for his response. Chengu studied her for a moment, then nodded. "A bold interpretation, not entirely correct, but bold." Something about the way he said it made her bristle. "So only your interpretation can be correct?" "Not at all." His lips curved slightly, "but mine is the one on the exam." Laughter erupted. Wine clenched her jaw, her irritation flaring. Jungkook moved on smoothly, but not before giving her the faintest of smiles, as if daring her to challenge him again. And oh, she would. After class, students gathered around him with questions. Vine stuffed her notebook into her bag with unnecessary force. "Careful," Nisha teased. "Your glare might set him on fire." "He is insufferable," Vine muttered, acting like he is the king of literature. Nisha smirked. "Or maybe you just don't like being challenged." Vine scoffed. "Please, I just don't like arrogant men." But as she stormed out of the classroom, she couldn't shake the strange pull she had felt when his eyes had lingered on her. Later that evening at home, her mother mentioned casually, "Oh, by the way, the boy's family confirmed they will meet us soon. His name is John Chenko. He is..." Wine froze, spoon halfway to her mouth. "What did you just say?" Her mother looked puzzled. "John Chenko, that's his name. Why?" The spoon clattered against the plate. Wine's head slammed against her ribs. Her new assistant professor, her fiancé? The universe was clearly playing the cruelest jokes of all. Wine's world tilted. The clink of the spoon against her plate still echoed in her ears. Even though dinner had ended 15 minutes ago, she barely remembered pushing her food around, excusing herself and sprinting upstairs before her parents could notice how pale she had gone. Now she sat cross-legged on her bed, hugging a pillow tight against her chest. John Jungkook, her new assistant professor, her fiancé. No, 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 she muttered, shaking her head like the universe might backtrack if she refused hard enough. This can't be real. This is some ridiculous mix up. Maybe there are two Jeon Jungkook in the city. Common name, right? Right? Her phone buzzed. So, spill. Did you find out who is he yet? Vine stared at the screen, her hammering. Should she tell her? Would Nisha believe her? Her fingers flew across the typing keys. It's him, the new professor. Three dots blinked, passed, then disappeared. A moment later, wait, what? You mean Mr. Tall, Dark, and too handsome for his own good? Don't call him that. Oh my god, Vine, this is like a kid drama. Student professor secret engagement. Please tell me you're not hating this. I'm hating every second of this. He's arrogant, insufferable, smug, but also hot. I'm blocking you. But even after tossing her phone aside, Vine couldn't shake the image of him. His sharp gaze, the infuriating smirk he had given her in class, the way his voice had wrapped around the lecture, her like velvet coated steel, and now that man was supposed to be her husband. The thought made her stomach twist. Absolutely not. The next day, Vine marched into class determined to ignore him. She had sit through his lecture, take notes, and pretend he didn't exist. Unfortunately, fate had another plans. Halfway through the session, as he moved across in front of the room explaining a passage, his gaze landed on her again. The same steady, unreadable look, her pen still on the page. Miss Sharma, he said, his voice slicing through the chatter. What's your take on this line? Her classmates all turned toward her, curious. Vine clenched her jaw. He was doing it on purpose. Testing her, she lifted her chin. I think the writer is being pretentious, dressing up simple thoughts with fancy words to look profound. A ripple of laughter spread across the room. Jungkook's lips twitched. Pretentious, you say, interesting. And yet here we are still discussing his work a century later. I think he succeeded. The students chuckled again. Why narrowed her eyes? Longevity doesn't equal brilliance. Plenty of bad ideas have lasted centuries. For the first time, something flickered in his expression. Amusement? Challenge? Touchy. She said softly, before turning back to the board. Her pulse raced, her cheek flushed. She hated how he always managed to have the last word. That evening, she couldn't take it anymore. Storming into his office after class, she slammed the door behind her. He looked up from his papers, brow raised. Miss Sharma. Vine crossed her arms, glaring. Cut the act, you know who I am. His eyes glinted behind his glasses. A student in my class? You know that's not what I mean. She snapped. Don't play dumb. My parents told me everything. You are the guy they fixed my marriage with. Silence stretched between them. The air felt heavy, charged. Finally, Jungkook leaned back in his chair, studying her with infuriating calm. So you have found out? That's all you have to say? She demanded. He shrugged lightly. What would you like me to say? Vine threw up her hands. How about sorry, this is a terrible idea? Or don't worry, I will tell my parents no. Anything other than sitting there like there's some normal situation? One corner of his mouth curved upward. And why exactly is it terrible? Her jaw dropped. You're my professor. Assistant professor. He corrected smoothly. That's not the point. Then what is the point, Miss Sharma? His tone was maddeningly calm, but his eyes held a spark she couldn't decipher. The point is, she faltered, flustered. The point is that I don't want this marriage, not at all. I have plans, dreams, a life, and I refuse to let some stranger. Stranger? He interrupted quietly. We are not strangers anymore, are we? Her pulse kept. He stood slowly, deliberately. The space between them shrank, and suddenly Vine was all too aware of his height, the faint scent of cologne, the quiet strength radiating off him. She spun on her heel, yanking the door open. We will see about that. And with that, she stormed out, heart pounding. His calm smile burned into her mind. That night, as she lay in her bed staring at the ceiling, she realized something terrifying. The more she hated him, the more her thoughts kept circling back to him. His voice, her smirk, the way he had stood so close, unbothered while she fumed. It wasn't just hate,